Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is August 8, 2024, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, we're watching the U.S. market sell off. But first, no major economic events scheduled for today. So as we look at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, we're watching the euro test resistance on the upside. And as we look at the Japanese yen, it gets a dead cat bounce, which means it's testing its highs once again, 142-ish level, and that's really important. Now, looking at the indices, both the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ sold off. Question or not whether or not this is a bull flag or it's going to be a dead cat bounce, and both of them are an option. Now, looking at commodities, gold, oil, and natural gas hold on to their bounce. And looking at the stocks, it's NVIDIA and Tesla that sell off tremendously and testing those lows once again. And then Bitcoin gets that bounce, retraces, and bounces back. So it's holding on to that bounce. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we are, starting with the Euro USD. Now, the Euro USD is right at that resistance level. It's testing it once again. 109.42 is where we're at. If it breaks 110, that's the level I'm looking for here on the upside. Now, consider this, okay? The euro is generally not as volatile and not a leading indicator. So this is very important that it's doing this because this may be a shift for it. Now, looking at the GBP, which is a volatile and is a leading indicator, it's just getting a bounce, not anywhere near its resistance-ish level. So it's interesting that there is a character change between these two currency symbols vis-a-vis the US dollar. Okay, now jumping into the Japanese yen, this is really important. This is what I'm talking about. This is a dead cat bounce, which means that, yes, we got the bounce, we got a second bounce, but it's not moving further than that. So the question is whether or not we're going to challenge this 142. Now, 142 is relatively, okay, speaking in terms of a new high for the Japanese yen. Why is that? Well, the Japanese yen works inversely with the US dollar, which means the lower it goes, the stronger it is, okay? And the higher it goes, the weaker it is. So with that said, keep that in mind. Now, looking at the Nikkei this morning, the Nikkei is actually up big this morning, so this is really important. So if we see a considerable amount, we may see this continue going back to its lows. Now, jumping into commodities, gold gets that bounce and holds on to it. Not a big bounce because we're looking at daily, but it's holding on to that bounce on that lower limit. Looking at crude oil, it gets a bigger bounce, okay, to $75 a barrel from our $72 low. And looking at natural gas also above $2, which is really important for natural gas. Now, shifting over to the U.S. markets, all right, this is where it gets interesting. The Dow Jones gets a very subtle bounce, okay? It's not much of a bounce, and we saw that. That was a get dead cat bounce, and we sold off, okay? So this may be a testing of this low once again to see if we're going to go higher, all right? It may be just that. Looking at the NASDAQ, also dead in its tracks. And if we look at the stocks, they're trading sideways. I mean, Facebook isn't doing much. It's been trading sideways for quite some time. Microsoft is testing its lows again. All right. NVIDIA and Tesla were the ones that really sold off the most. So let's look at Tesla first. Tesla almost getting back to that low of 184. And NVIDIA showing some weakness and selling off as well. So this is what's really important. Are we testing our lows once again? Or are we going to see ourselves getting a bull flag? Today's going to be a really very important day, today and tomorrow, in terms of giving us some insight into that. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been really consolidating in this area between 55,000 and 53,000. It tested that low of 49, bounced off of it, and then just been in a very range, okay? It's not very tight range, but it's been a range of about $3,000 range, okay? And it's indecisive which way it wants to go. Bitcoin is going to be a very important one because if it does go higher, it'll burst out back to that 68K, 67K-ish level, okay, if it does get that push on the upside. So keep an eye on this because this may be a real great player today. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.